friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys. Fantastic viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you guys finally found me. For those of you guys returning, I'm so blessed, so grateful to do your reading. Yet again today, today's reading will be an interesting reading. We're looking at what soul contract do you have going on right now? And what do you need to know about it? How is this playing out? So needless to say, this isn't going to be for everyone, okay? Whether you guys believe in soul contracts or not, there is a specific unfolding of events going on. Call it destiny, call it fate, call it whatever you will. We'll pull through here what you're needing to know about what you're experiencing at this point in time, okay? We'll pull 3 cards here from the major arcana from this deck. Now, we won't reveal what these are right away. Okay, so if at any point you are called to any one of these 3, I will put the timestamp below. They'll take you directly to your pick. So sit with the energy, okay? And it's absolutely fine to be drawn to multiple piles, okay? But use your own intuition. So we have number 1, number 2, and let's pull number 3. Number 3, spirits, soul contract. What's going on with pile 3? How is the soul contract playing out in their world right now? Okay, so before we reveal these major arcana cards, let's take a look at the decks we're using. You guys can certainly skip ahead. I'll put the timestamp for those of you guys wanting to go straight away to picking your card. So for the decks, we have quite a bit of them. I'll put a link to the deck flip throughs for those of you guys interested in looking at these cards more in depth. Most of these will be in the card reveal playlist, which I'll remember to link to this video. And finally, all right, so beautiful angels. Let us reveal these 3 cards, all right, and see what we have. Option number 1. Option number 2. Option number 3. Okay, so sit with this energy. Beautiful people, I'm feeling 3 sort of different energies pulling through here. Okay, but doesn't mean that they're not energetically intertwined or connected in any sort of way. And as usual, the strongest energy around you is going to pull through. Okay, so keep an open mind in regards to who's carrying what energy. If I pull through multiple people or energies here that aren't connected to you specifically, through you, it could be around you. Okay, so I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, beautiful. Pile number 1. We had the major arcana from this deck, which, by the way, I'll try to remember to link this deck as well, because I got it quite a while ago, and it's just the major arcana, so it might be difficult at first blush to identify which major arcana they all are, but this one might be a dead giveaway with these horns here. So we have the Devil, okay? So like every card in the tarot, there's the shadow, and then there is the light attribute of every card. Okay, so the Devil is Capricorn energy. We're going to tap into this energy shortly. So before we do so, a little bit about this reading. If you guys are new to tarot or new to this channel, please go check out the disclaimer just to make sure we're both on the same page and what it is that you're hearing here is taken into context. Okay, so don't take messages that aren't for you, and don't force anything that doesn't feel right or doesn't resonate for you. It shouldn't be brand new information that you're finding out for the very first time that's shocking. This should be something confirming your intuition. Okay, and so I asked spirits exactly what is pile one. What is the soul contract playing out for pile one at this time? And what do they need to know about it? Okay, so the soul contract could be long, short, period of time where we're having to go through certain lessons and learnings and stuff like this that need to play out. Sometimes they're personal lessons. Sometimes it involves many people. It might involve repeating certain things until we figure things out. Okay, so the Devil is quite a significant powerful card here because there's a lot of heaviness that comes with the Devil. Okay, the Devil signifies unhealthy patterns, addictions, obsessions, vices. It's the chains that bind us where we might not feel free and very limited and restricted. Okay, so I feel like this is a very heavy energy. And if this isn't your energy, you could be dealing with somebody who might be very challenged when it comes to those areas, okay? Compulsive, obsessive thinking, unhealthy ways that we might carry beliefs about ourselves that limits us, okay? Right down to, like I said, substance abuse, addictions, vices, and challenges in that regard. Okay, now in the light attribute of the Devil, there's a lot of passion that pulls through. There's a lot of strength that pulls through. There's a lot of desire for movement, liberation. Okay, so it really depends on how we understand and navigate with the Devil. The Devil could be known as our ego. The Devil could be known as our shadows. Okay, the Devil isn't a real entity. And you can leave all the comments you want here. The Devil is the shadowy side. It's the absence of light, the absence of God. There's only one power, and that's God power. There's no two powers in play. One power, God created all of everything. Okay, now if there's darkness, that's the absence of God, the absence of light, the ignorance. Okay, still hiding in the shadow. But once God light is introduced, the Devil ceases to exist. And so we can remain ignorant, we could remain blind, we could remain keeping these chains alive, or we could understand and liberate ourselves from a non-entity. Okay, now I'm being drawn to this penis on top of this Devil's head. So it is quite profound here, okay? So I don't know, some of you guys might be battling with a sex addiction here, okay? Or maybe in regards to your sexuality, something that limits you or is challenging you. It doesn't have to outright be physical sex, it could be a challenge here in regards to intimacy or even bonding sexually, physically. There's a lot being pulled through in this pile, okay? So you guys will have to sort of pull through how it applies for you guys. And the reason why we can't kind of paintbrush this whole pile and under one umbrella is because, one, this is a collective general reading. Lots of people come through here, but it's the overall energy of this pile that should resonate for you guys, okay? But I do feel it's something very heavy that you're going through right now, and it feels like it has a hold of you, and it's limiting your movement. And I don't know how long you've been stuck here, but I also feel like it's something that could feel very good. Like there's a reason why, like it feels good. And so this probably is the hold, the devil promises, or we enjoy a certain part that it comes with. But then the downside is it comes with everything else. And so I'm actually being drawn to pile 3 for some of you guys. If you were kind of tossing back and forth, there might be a message there for you. I haven't done pile 3 yet, but I'm just feeling like there's a need sort of to sort through balance here, and I'm feeling that might be pile 3. So let's see more, okay? Let's see more of how this plays out. So you guys can certainly click on the timestamp to take you straight away to the channeling, but I do suggest that you guys go through the card layout so you can tap your intuition into mine. But you'll see, feeler here to determine whether the pile is right for you. Only you can do this, okay? So let's see. So we have everlasting life. Oh my goodness. Everlasting life. How powerful. And we have Hunter of Gifts. Okay, and we have Descendant with Invitation, 37, or the number 10. 10's about completions, ends of cycles, transformation. So I'm getting Scorpio energy. I'm also getting Wheel of Fortune, which is about a cycle. Interesting, we have Invitation. So the devil cannot enter unless the devil has an invitation. Okay. So let's keep going here. We have shine brightly, stand out, be proud, individuality. So what did I say? The only thing that could obliterate the devil is light. This is shine brightly, stand out, be proud, and individuality. Individuality, but yet these 3 people look exactly the same. Groupthink? All right, so surrender to divine timing. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough, according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. Okay, and then we have concealment. And we have this like horn looking thing as well here. So concealment, a mask. Non-authenticity, so the false self. What are we hiding here with concealment? And we have darkest fears, certainly in line with devil. Again, shadow, subconscious fears, or the darkest fears we have are hidden in the subconscious. We see the moon, all the phases of the moon. So 9 is about fruition, completion, and fulfillment. It's also Hermit and Moon energy. So Virgo, Cancer, Pisces energy. So that's a deeper understanding of our subconscious, a deeper understanding of our fears, a deeper understanding of our emotions. And the Hermit certainly has to break away from groupthink and societal norms in order to find self. Okay. And we have distraction 15, devils 15. More Capricorn energy. Distraction could certainly, again, be this pull of the devil, We have a little dog, looks like a Boston Terrier. Dogs talk about friendship and loyalty. We have crows. Crows are symbolic of transformation and death, but they could be symbolic of communication. They bring messages across different dimensions. And we have one crow sort of cawing here, so communication, speaking. One crow is eating, which I'm drawn back to fulfillment here with the number 9, being fulfilled. Okay, and then we have, to be fair, number 38, or the number 11. So 11 is a master number, which signifies divine inspiration and the encouragement to keep going. And look at the scales, which I was feeling from the pile 3 that I haven't read yet, the need to find some form of balance here. Okay, we see the owl, which is all about wisdom through knowledge and understanding. So what do we do with the knowledge and information we have? Do we apply it as wisdom? So we have Libra energy pulling through. And we have the Merkaba with 32, or the number 5. 5 is about conflict and loss, change and rebuild, which we had with the number 10, which is all about the transformation and ends of cycles. So it says the frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality. We were talking about the crows, okay, and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences, there's the owl, into our present and serve our highest purpose. Oh my goodness. Powerful. And then we have humility. Allow me, divine, to always accept the right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. There's an owl again. Okay, humility. And we have ease. It's easy for me to receive. It's easy for me to receive. It's easy for me to receive your help in every way and delight in receiving it. You're being offered help here. Do we see it? I don't know that we see it. Here we have the city streets of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Giant pothole. Giant pothole filled with water. On this road. Okay. And we have no one is yours but you, number 41, or the number 5 pulling through again. So 2 5s. Like I said, 5 is about conflict, loss, and change, rebuilding. 4 is Emperor energy, which is about stability, finding balance. Okay, and 1 is all about new beginnings, potentials, opportunity. No one is yours but you. Okay, and then we have possibilities. That's this beautiful tree. I'm getting more Emperor energy from the stability of the tree. Growth, health. Okay, but this tree has no leaves, and it's blue. So one, it's looking frozen and cold without leaves. And also blue could certainly represent throat chakra, which we were getting something with communication here. Okay, and then we have this abstract card, which is very shadowy. I'm not sure what all is going on here, but take a look at this. I'll be channeling this more intuitively. It looks like, I don't know, it looks like someone's sort of almost pulling down the moon here. And then we got a shadowy figure standing here with some form of a weapon. I don't know if this is on fire or it's glowing. It's kind of looking like another weapon or a cross here of sorts. Okay. Before we pull any tarot as well, because we might need to pull tarot here, which I have put aside, let me start to channel what this is, okay? You guys can certainly skip ahead. Okay, beautiful pile number 1. This might become very clear by the end. If it's not completely sounding, completely resonating at the beginning, it could be messages for someone else, because there's quite a bit pulling through here, okay? But take the energy, the general gist of this, that is either your energy or it may be even energy of people you might be dealing with or circumstances, okay? So what do we have here? The devil. The devil, which represents being bound and stuck to something that isn't actually allowing us to progress spiritually, progress and expand in our world. It holds us back and it limits us from movement and growth. Okay, so even though the devil might come with periods of intense enjoyment or intense promise of feeling a certain way. Okay, now again, whatever it is, addictions to, I don't know, substances, sex, in the moment, gratification, whatever it may be, okay, could be very intense, or it could just be stagnancy, so much so. Okay, stagnancy so much so where there's actually something going on beneath the surface here. And so the soul contract that you're having to work through is understand your own inner power, because I feel like you're outsourcing your power to what is happening and what is going on in your world as having more control and power over your ability to make moves and claim yourself independently of this thing. Okay, so when we believe something so strongly, we play it out and we get stuck in that trap until we challenge it and start to look at it from a different sort of understanding. But we have to sort of snap out and wake up and start to question. Now, this doesn't mean the devil disappears automatically, but over time, we start to undo the chains one by one and know that the whole devil ends up being just an illusion. Okay, so the best thing to free completely from the devil would be to go to the root. Okay, because when we go to the root, we identify that everything becomes an illusion. And if we give one thing sort of power in any sort of way, then there still is a belief there. Okay, and as long as there's a belief, there's an attachment. And so sometimes we might have to break it, like I said, chain by chain, you know? We don't fully believe yet that the devil is an illusion, or that certain things that actually aren't real, we still are acting like they're real. Okay, and I know this is sounding very sort of esoteric here, like we'll try to get into more practicality here so you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's because there's a lot of subconscious. Now, the root of this, okay, despite how the devil is manifesting in your world, because for everyone it's different, okay, the devil is the band-aid. The devil is the manifestation. The devil is the distraction here that is tiding me over instead of me going deeper within and knowing that I am capable and able and worthy of attaining more, being more, having more, and am more. So in your shadowy parts, whether it's been, you know, through many lifetimes or ingrained through this lifetime, as a challenge that you have, a belief that you hold strongly inside, that you're incapable and not deserving of allowing your own power and your own self to intake good things, to intake things at the highest that will allow you to move forward, that those things are challenging for you, that those things are not designed for you, that you're less than or not up to snuff with those things. And so we settle and we involve ourselves with things that we think are more mirroring our energy. But the truth of the matter is, it's not. You have a divine essence, an everlasting life within yourself that you haven't connected to, okay? And it's being masked up right now by that belief system that's in place. And so what's the belief system? It's an illusion. It's not even real. So I could believe all I want that I'm, let's say, a unicorn. Like, and truly, like, I'm not joking. Like, if I really truly believe this thing, it becomes a reality to me. But everybody else can look at me and know that I'm not a unicorn, no matter how much I want it to be or think that I am. But if I truly believe it, I start to, I don't know, what do unicorns do? Eat grass? Ram with my horn? And I will do this. And I will feel like this. And who knows how long I will do that for. you know? And it doesn't matter how many other people see it differently, as long as I have the attachment of that belief, of that illusion. And so you have an illusion belief right now that you think is true in your root that needs to be undone. This is your soul contract to undo this belief system. And it takes a lot of humility to open up and feel worthy of accepting the greater thing. Be worthy of dropping the protective coats that we wear because we do the devilly things to protect us. Okay. But we're actually self-sabotaging and punishing ourselves. And we're using that as a coping mechanism to distract, to not have to deal with and look at the raw truth of what's going on. Because once we undo that belief, you think we would be feeling right away like a relief and liberated and like a pressure off of us. But in actuality, when we finally sort of see this thing, it becomes almost too intense for us to accept, because we've been under one guise, one belief, and it comes with a flood of emotions and not all positive. Although in the long run, we'll be liberated. In the long run, we start to manifest from this place because we start to believe that we are the everlasting life. We are the eternal essence, the extension of God going on within us, that everything that we were doing was because of belief and a cover up and an attachment, okay, that didn't allow us to let that light sort of shine through because we couldn't recognize it in ourselves. We weren't connected in ourselves. There was still shadow to get to it. So we might really sort of still rely on people, places, and things to sort of help mirror back to us and reflect back to us who we are. Okay, like this is sort of how we're operating, but this doesn't help us, because all that we're doing is magnifying our own beliefs out there, and then we're justifying to ourselves what it is that we believe. So for example, I believe I'm a unicorn. Okay, even though we know, like, this is just an example. Okay, I am this addict, I am this horrible person, I am this unworthy, whatever, fill in the blank. I am whatever I believe here. And now I surround myself with people, places, and things. And it doesn't matter so much as what this person is seeing me as, because I believe myself to be a unicorn. I am only seeing and projecting those people, places, things back to me, reinforcing my belief. And so I'm not truly receiving what those people and that experience is really giving to me. I'm just cycling my own energy out there back to me, justifying and supporting the false self, justifying and supporting the belief, the attachment to that unhealthy belief. But when I challenge myself to know that I have a fear of seeing the great truth and the light within me, and I'm courageous enough to take a look from that angle, I can then see how I'm not the unicorn and how I am unique, and I can see my light, and I can now differentiate myself, my authentic self, from the false self. And I can connect to the oneness within everything and everyone else from that place of light, not from the place of separation and shadow and pain. So there's a true belief here in separation. Okay, it's me, and I am independent of everyone and everything. And I am at the mercy of what's happening all out there, but through the eyes of this sort of skewed veil that I have. And so How long will this devil be upheld? As long as I don't wake up and challenge myself and say that underneath this manifestation, where my environment and me are sort of dancing together in this justification, propping up this devil world of mine, to connect to what is actually different from me, okay, even though we're all sharing the same eternal light from the same source of consciousness, from one source, I'm a unique expression of that source, okay, and only my veil or perception is what's distorting that from manifesting. But as long as I am acting from the false self to sort of work within my environment per people, places, and things, I will continue to sort of maintain this devilly energy. And I am at the helm to either welcome this devilly energy to keep going or stop the devilly energy and allow the divinity to come within, which is actually quite easy when you think of what it means, but difficult to do when we have to break the chain of the illusion itself. Because if an illusion doesn't exist, it has really no power. It doesn't exist. It's a non-entity. So, to make something disappear that's already not existing would be effortless. But when the attachment to that belief is so strong, it creates it as though it's real and living. And so that's why it is ease, but at the same time, it's challenge, because it really depends on the attachment and the belief we have to that story, which really roots down to the unworthiness, the ability to accept the things we're not accepting in our world that contradict the story that we've held. And so I am getting a strong energy here that though we have divine timing, I feel like the divine timing has been in play for quite some time for this group. But the divine doesn't interject in your free will to make choices. The divine timing has been in front of you to make different choices. For you to invite the divine to help you to see differently, to help you choose differently. But if you maintain the same process, the same thought pattern, the same attachment, the same belief structure system, nothing's going to change here. We will remain with the chains of the devil and the distraction and the addictions, in the beliefs, in the thought story, in the fears and the program, surrounding ourselves with things that prop this up and reinforce this belief. So the divine timing here is the divine saying, hey, we have been here waiting for you to invite us in and cast out this devil, to bring about balance, because we know that there are shadows, because there have to be shadows in order for there to be an understanding of what the light is. We won't know what light is if there wasn't any darkness or shadow. But the shadow doesn't need to drive, and the shadow doesn't have a mind of its own unless we're unaware of it and we're letting it go on auto program. So there's a need for us to take what we know and make different choices and integrate a different thought process, get in front of the choices, get in front of what it is that we're sort of saying to ourselves in that moment. And so if this is a physical addiction, okay, like a vice or some form of substance, there is a need to not resist Okay, if we have to, I don't know, whatever, smoke that cigarette, do the thing. Okay, we're doing it in the name of God. For you, highest power, God, I am doing this, but I know that there is a greater path for me. And I know that I will get to that path. And I know that it doesn't help me to beat myself up over this choice that I'm making. But when full awareness in this moment of this choice that I'm making, in full awareness, I know the truth. And in the name of God, we're making this choice because we feel at the mercy of this devil. Okay, and the inertia of the devil starts to slow down and the light of God starts to crack open, because it takes process and time to undo the chains one by one. Like I said, one cigarette at a time. You know, if we've had many, many years of this addiction, many, many years of choosing poorly, a thought process that runs the show, negative self-speak that's controlling, it's going to have mega inertia. It has a lot of karma tied to this thing. It has to play out. But the first step is the realization and shining the light of awareness, but not resisting, not suppressing, not fighting it, because it intensifies. And that's why when we have an addiction and we try to not do it, we give in and we crash and we have these intensities. And so it's like, with this understanding, with this knowing right here, right now, I give my full power to this moment, but knowing that I understand that there is something deeper and greater here that's unfolding here, and we're giving it to God. And trust, okay? Because with the trust and the belief of a mustard seed, we grow something that's actually stable and substantial over time. But it needs to grow so we can have strength to hang on to. So when, I don't know, the 30th time comes up, the choice is different. The intensity is not there. The belief sort of crumbled. The truth now weighs a little more than the lie, than the illusion. Okay, but if we feel like we can really, really get to uncovering shadows and doing shadow work, we really get to the root, which is resolving the unworthiness. Because what will happen is we might start to cling to a different illusion, to a different distraction, to a different situation, a different devil, because we haven't really resolved what was creating that, in which was happening in our world. So even though we might have broke the chain to that devil, the darkness still remains and the devil still manifests however it does, as a distraction from dealing with looking at something here that's written in your soul contract that you're being called to look at. I feel right here, right now, that has been in front of you. Okay, so I'm also getting, with this Akashic inheritance and this gift, I feel like once we break free from this thing and we go to the root, there is a greater purpose here that you're being called to do. Okay, which is going to fulfill you, and it's going to fill that void that seems to be there, being filled by the devilly things. Okay, but it's going to be actually fulfilled with something that is not devil-like, something that is fulfilling, something that is more healthy. So I feel like what Spirit is saying here is there is unlimited potential here that your higher self is wanting you to strive for. And it's up to you whether you stay looking out there as though there's an obstacle in your way and it's holding you back and it's going to be here for who knows how long until it disappears. Or you recognize that the obstacle is one in which you're seeing and you're being called to go around, above, through this with more awareness, with more understanding of something greater than what you're sort of experiencing here in the 3D. So connecting to spirituality, connecting to another dimension other than what we're seeing and experiencing in the 3D is really going to help drive that power. So even though we don't see the spirituality sort of in front of us or playing out, it builds this energy around us to pull us through something. Because I feel like you've hit a point in the journey and in this road where you're investing a lot of your time and it's not where you're supposed to be. And I mean, supposed to be, this is your journey. Okay. But I feel like Spirit is really saying, like, the divine timing has been in front of you to make different choices and to engage with this thing. And so we have to deconstruct that belief. So let's take a look at the tarot, because I don't know that I channeled it 100% here, but I feel like I keep getting bringing down the moon here. It's like we have to consciously dive into the subconscious. We have to examine our own emotions. We have to do what it takes here. But I feel like maybe we think there's an impossible thing here, an impossible feat, but it's not impossible, but it must be done by you. Okay, now obviously the divine works through you, so nothing is done of yourself. Okay, but you're the one sort of carrying the illusion. God isn't casting illusions in you. And so there's a need to see this. So Spirit, what does pile 1 need to know then about this soul contract? What do they need to know? 7 of fire. So you're in a position to fight this thing. Okay, this is fighting for what we believe in, fighting for what matters. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground. Choose your battles wisely. And I feel like this is what I'm talking about. Like, have we given up thinking that this is in the hands of the universe, you know, or that we're powerless? Because that's the illusion. We're not powerless. Whatever we fight for is what is going to be the victor here. And you're in a higher ground here to challenge whatever this thing is, bit by bit, until the reality shifts and the chains break. Okay, the Hermit in reverse. I will be taking reversals. So we have a Virgo energy, and this is Archangel Raziel, and it says spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. What were we talking about with the owl and the hermit that was pulling through here? There is a need to do the shadow work. There's a need to do this. Now, do you need to do it? No, you can remain here. In fact, I see a lot of you guys remaining here, you know. That's the soul contract, to suffer here with the devils and the illusions and the matrix and the false self and the stories. But some of you guys who have been suffering here, who know and who are tied to something greater, there's a surrendering, there's an understanding, there's shadow work that's done, there's connecting to a greater truth, and then there's integration of this bit by bit to free yourselves and tap into these gifts and this essence that's hiding behind this shadow and this mask. Yeah, look, Wheel of Fortune. So interesting, because remember we had the wheel coming through in the card layout with the number 10. And the Wheel of Fortune is all about destiny, cycles, phases. Okay, sometimes the wheel could signify either a year's time or a 10-year cycle. You guys will know. Maybe some of you guys have been battling with this thing for 10 years. Okay. Maybe it's been a year of intense sort of shadow work here, but it could be cyclical behaviors, and that is devil, where we're stuck in habitual ways, repeating cycles, feeling stuck. Okay, and then like I said, the number 9, which is giving me Hermit and Moon energy. Moon's all about subconscious and fears. So why is this wheel here, spirits? 7 of water, so the 7 cups. Like I said, if we are not pointed in our choices, scattered, distracted, leaving it up to chance, not every cup is going to have the right answer. When we have 7 cups, the choice is ours. Do we want to feed the illusion in this moment? Or do we want to resist and fight it and then give in and still keep that illusion alive? Or do we want to actively choose whatever we choose with a knowing that there's something greater, and slowly build that surrender energy so that it becomes stronger than the addiction itself or than the devil itself? Okay, so 7 of Cups, a complex decision, the need to do research, stop procrastinating. So the power is in your hands. And so this is the cycle. We keep staying stuck, not choosing differently, waiting for an outside event to change, the circumstance to get better on its own. And Spirit saying, no, like you're the one who's going to fight for what matters here. Okay, and it starts with knowing yourself and understanding yourself and spending time to meditate upon this thing. And if this sounds like too much, then we're not suffering enough, unfortunately. And this is this descent. And so what is your soul journey? About descending into the devilly pits until we suffer so much we can't take it anymore and we're forced to change. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. Okay, so the Chariot in reverse again. A need for balance, integration of shadow, an important achievement, self-discipline, and willpower, public recognition. Now, willpower does not mean, and the self-discipline does not mean I'm going to fight this obsession or this thing and resist it. That's not going to help you, and it's not going to work. The self-discipline is I'm going to commit myself to this hermit, to this shadow work, to this understanding of something greater. And in the meantime, I know that I might still have these patterns and that I might still be processing this, and it still is fleshing out these thoughts that aren't helping me, this obsession that still has me. But instead of knocking myself down, feeling bad about this, that is the devil. That's the ego keeping you stuck. It's like, no, I'm not my addiction. No, I'm not these actions I'm doing. I am the great light that's within me. Even though I might not feel it today, I know, like I know, like I know. And this will slowly start to cast the light. It does get bigger, I assure you, over time. Consciously choosing differently or consciously committing and dedicating to that hermit work until the scales start to get balanced the other way. Because right now we're really heavy in shadow. Okay? We're either really asleep, unconscious, or really choosing the shadowy part. The subconscious is driving the choices. The subconscious is the devil that we're attached to and the belief we're attached to. And that's the world we're sort of living in, the dark side. So we're being asked to integrate, transmute this energy slowly but surely until the chariot is upright, because there is success for you to have and forward movement for you to have, because the time is now, but your chariot is upside down because you're not integrating this. You're sort of sitting here observing this pothole, not moving forward. Okay, and since the puddle's filled with water and we have the 7s of water here, and with the blue and the throat chakra, I'm feeling there's a lot of emotions that need to be expressed, understood, sat with, spoken, at least to yourself, understood by you, truths, okay, that maybe we couldn't sit with or understand so that we can build that energy within us to trust our own self. Because I think you need loyalty from your own self, buy-in from your own self. And if we're in devil for so long, especially those of you guys 10-year devils, it's like I've already beat myself up so much that I don't have trust or faith that I could be anything more and that this is what it is. And it's like, no, it's not. It really isn't. I'm not a unicorn, no matter how many times I say it or think it. Okay, yeah, look, 13, release, the death card, transformation, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. So the time has already been in front of you. I feel it's been here for some time. This lifetime could be the divine timing for you to break this. And we're still burning and turning. And like I said, instead of feeling bad about it or beating ourselves up about it, it's like, I'm going to work on releasing this transformation, not sitting here looking at the obstacle, looking at this devil like it's real and it has a hold. But how can I slowly start to turn this thing and transform myself? I have to release this choices that I keep making, the self-speak that keeps feeding this thing, the attachment that I believe in, this illusion that remains strong. I have to release it, or else nothing will transform. And I'll keep experiencing the same things over and over and over again. Yeah, strength. So the courage to stand up and do things a little differently, because this will take a lot of courage for you to face the fear, to face the shadows. Okay, great inner strength. Release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion for self. So, one thing, if you could do one thing, it's not to beat yourself up for the choices and the decisions you're making that are keeping this devil alive. No judgments, because in the judgment, we keep that devil, we keep the chain. Okay, so we need to release the judgment and see ourselves as the observer. Detach from the body, detach from your actions. Okay, it is not you, your eternal light, doing those actions. It is the trauma, it's the shadow, it's the unhealed version of you playing out. It's the karmas playing out. It's the soul contract playing out. Because your past life, and who knows how many lifetimes, we have done certain things and we accumulated a certain amount of karmas. That's why when we wake up, the karma starts to slow down and we start to build dharma. Okay, you're at a point here where you're slowing down your karmas, but they're still flushing out. But this isn't dictating who you are. And so just observe it as it plays out, and keep your inner strength towards only the thing that's going to work on releasing, understanding, and the willpower and self-discipline towards remaining regimented about the healing path and the self-speak. And so anytime something that's not self-serving comes in, like a thought, we see it, we don't attach to it, and we kiss it goodbye. Because those thoughts are going to repeat and come in, and then they're going to go. And when they don't work, it starts to like peter out. The ego will come up with another thought, a more intense one to grab your energy. If that didn't work, this might work. And it's going to audition for your attention, wanting more energy of yours to feed this devil. Because once we stop believing in the illusion, it dies. We stop giving it water. It can't exist. We're not energetically feeding it. And this is how the ego eradicates itself. It dies of thirst. It dies of us not putting energy towards it anymore. Okay, so don't feed it with judgments. Don't feed it with any energy, negative or positive energy. Don't attach to any of that. Okay, but forgiveness and compassion for self and the choices that you make. You know, even if we feel like we keep doing the same thing, it's like compassion, forgiveness, compassion, forgiveness. And then we build that ground to stand on. And then we can have a fighting chance here, you know. But I feel like if you could pray, you know, if you can pray, invite the divine. And some of you guys might have stopped, you know, believing in the divine or prayer, or that this is anything that can, I don't know, externally sort of come in to help you. And I feel like that's what's going to give you the power to fight, and believing in something greater than yourself, but that all runs through you because you are an extension of that in which you're praying to. Okay, so beautiful angel. We have Leo, we have Virgo. I am feeling Cancer, Pisces from this 9 because I am getting a lot of moon, Scorpio, and Cancer. Okay, so this is your reading, beautiful angels. I wish you guys the very best. If you guys want to go check out another pile, please do that, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 2, you guys pick this major arcana card right here. It might be difficult for some of you guys to tell which card this is, but this is the card of the Emperor. Okay, so Aries energy here. And we're looking at your soul contract that's playing out right here, right now in your world. Okay, what you need to know about it, maybe guidance how to navigate through it. Are you sort of playing out exactly as it should? Are you stuck in any sort of way? Or what exactly do you need to know about this soul contract journey that you have going on? So whether you guys believe in soul contracts or not, you're on the road to ascension and growth, and everything, okay, that's going on in your world is certainly happening for a reason. And this is looking at your journey specifically, okay, whether it be spiritual, physical, whatever is sort of going on here and whatever you need to know. So I asked the divine exactly that for pile number 2. What is this soul contract about, this journey about, and what is it that pile 2 needs to know right here, right now in regards to this? Okay, so I haven't looked at these cards, but the best way is to tap into your intuition. What you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this messaging makes sense to you. Okay, don't force messages to fit, and please go listen to the disclaimer if it's your first time to tarot or your first time to my channel, so that you know exactly what it is that's going on here. Okay, so Emperor energy. Look at this Emperor. He's sitting sideways. He's not quite facing forwards. In fact, this Emperor is looking backwards. So I feel like there is a soul contract in regards to something within your power, within your control, to create structure or order, or empower yourself to get targeted in some way. And we might be having to resolve something in the past, or control something of the past. Although the past has happened, there's nothing to control because it's already, out of existence. There might be some aspect in regards to how are we engaged with passing energy that is dictating or controlling us, that might be taking away from the now present moment, that could be utilized differently. Because if we're present and facing forward, we can make different sort of choices and decisions and have a sort of a control over what's happening as best we can. But if we're too focused on the past, too involved in the past, and it looks almost like we're resisting something here, we might need to accept or integrate something of the past in order for energy to shift. It's kind of what I'm feeling here intuitively, but let's see, because we have a lot that pulls through and it might not become clear till the end. Now, remember, this could be your energy or somebody around you playing out, okay? But it's certainly tied to this soul contract, so you'll have to apply it accordingly, okay? So we have courage. Let me be open to let me be open to courageously take the steps that are shown. Strength, Leo, Aries. Courage, steps that are shown. We can't see steps if we're facing backwards. Okay, heart space, beautiful. So the heart space talks about the heart chakra, all about compassion, love. It's the door to the soul, the door to spirituality, the door to our authentic self. And here we have a person with a horse. Okay, so I read these intuitively. The horse is white. White is purity. Horse is about freedom, liberation. And horses, in this one, I'm getting horsepower because we measure things with horsepower, which is what the strength. Okay, strength comes with courage, strength with the emperor. There's some sort of strength, some sort of power we're needing here. Willpower or what? Freedom, authenticity. It looks like this person is what? Trying to talk the horse into something? It's communicating with the horse somehow. Let's see. We have spirit of family. Okay. We have Saturn with structure, 24, or the number 6. So Saturn's the ruling planet for Capricorn and Aquarius. Practicality, discipline, structure, which is definitely Emperor. So 2 is all about choices, balance. It's duality. It could be partnership. And we have 4, which is Emperor energy, structure, stability, foundations, planning. 4 is also death energy. Scorpio pulling through, which is transformation. Okay, so we have get into nature, coexistence, gather, and limit waste. Limit waste. Well, if our energy is focused on something that's non-existent, we could certainly be wasting energy, aka the past. Get into nature. Okay. And we have surrender comparisons with other people. Keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. Yes, the Emperor has lots of power and strength. Get into nature. Family. Okay. We have equilibrium. So I'm getting Libra energy from this. I'm also getting an Ace of Cups energy. So Ace of Cups is all about self-worth, self-value, self-love, emotional new beginning, connecting with our emotions and our heart space. Balance. Okay, and we have coming together, another 2. Lots of green, which is giving me the heart ray. Okay, like the green ray, the heart ray chakra. And 2, like I said, could be definitely talking about partnership, coming together, merging. And we have 22 with grief. So another 4. 4 is stability. Now, stability is great as long as it's not stagnant. And sometimes we got to go through a 5 in order to change things, to rebuild things, to go through strife in order for things to progress. We might be stuck on a 4 here. Okay, we see a 2, 2. So again, balance, duality, and choices. But 22 is a master number. Okay, it's peacemaker, diplomacy, and it's divinely guided relationships when we see 22. So it's pulling through twice here. We see these crows and we see this little, like, what is this, like a death of something here? It says grief. Okay. Scorpio energy pulling through, Emperor energy again. And we have flexibility, number 19. 19 is Sun energy, Leo. Leo and the Sun could be signifying ego, okay, but the Sun represents consciousness, enlightenment. 10 is all about completions and ends of cycles, which we have death here. This is flexible. And an egg is all about a new beginning, an incubation for a rebirth. Okay. We have Gaia, 28, or another number 10. So 1010 could be something you're seeing, okay? But if you want to look up angel number 1010, leave that in the comments for us so we know what that might be signifying. But Gaia is the god of Earth, Mother Earth, which we had nature. So it says the frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and to the universe that birthed us all. Wow. So another 2 here. Okay, and 8 is this courage, strength, energy. So we have the mixologist. This does give me temperance energy, Sagittarius, balance, harmony, integration, patience, healing. It says mustache wax and bitters. Mixologist, chemistry, alchemy. And we have the blender. This blender looks like it has, I don't know if that's brains or hearts. It kind of looks like the heart. But we have a blender right by mixologist. Isn't that fascinating? And then we have the heart eater. Wowzers. 13, which is transformation. That's the death card in the tarot, which is all about completions and ends of cycles and release and rebirth. The heart eater. And then we have the psychic knowing, this beautiful purple and blue tree. So I'm getting high priestess, intuition pulling through here, Pisces, and Scorpio, if I didn't say. Okay, so lots coming through here in bits and pieces. Let me tap into this energy and start to channel. Okay, you guys can definitely skip ahead with the timestamp here. Okay, beautiful pile number 2. We'll pull tarot as this unpacks, okay? Because these readings are very layered here, okay? So they don't all come clear right off the hop. And like I said, this could be you or energy that you're dealing with or people around you. You'll have to attribute it as you see fit. I will attribute this to you, but you could switch roles however you see fit, okay? There's a lot of weight that you're putting on the past, okay? But only you carry this understanding. And it is one of carrying, it almost feels like the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's kind of what it feels like to me here. It's like it's expected of you for whatever reason. Now, this could be a family obligation or ingrained in you because of a family upbringing, that you envision a certain ideal version of who you have to be or what you have to do in order for you to be successful or be whole or be accomplished in some way, to produce functionally. It's like, I must look like this or be like this or have this under wraps. Okay, but this is your own burdens that you're carrying here. Okay, so your soul contract is talking about you really breaking from any ingrained stories that you carry that keep you tethered to being small, sort of almost as a I don't really want to say it's a fear, okay, but there's a deeper reason why we do this. Because exploring the unknown of our potential is scary, because what if the greatest realization comes true, that I am not as good or capable to accomplish or to build in a way here that meets or checks these boxes? Because I feel like there's playing it safe. Okay, and we play it safe because it feels more comfortable to us. And so we put those limitations and we feed those beliefs and justify that position more and more, so that when we are stagnant and safe, there's a reason why we're stagnant and safe. And this could go to any sort of aspect of your world. Because I feel like there's a part of you that's not free. There's a part of you that wants to explore. There's a part of you that can connect in a way that you haven't connected to other people, or to live life in a certain way here that is off the table right now. But it would require you to be a little bit more flexible in your ways of how you approach things. Because I feel like you're really weighted in the version of you that's been created, so much so that it's handicapping you or limiting you from movement and being flexible to kind of go with the flow of what could be presented here. And I feel like it is sort of shooting yourself in the foot. And then we write it off as, well, it's creating some form of stability or some form of structure or some form of something. And I don't know if you just had parents that put high expectations on what you can achieve or what you can do. But I feel like you're being called to sort of run wild in some way, and that you do have a very strong ability to do more than what you're doing here. So I feel like maybe you're, a big fish in a small pond, or playing it safe, fearing stepping out into the unknown and having to swim with the big fish or learn certain lessons that might put you out of your comfort zone. But I feel like for a lot of you guys, there might be a calling here, and some of you guys might already know what it is. It could be a relationship. It could be your dream job. It could be opening up ourselves to expose ourselves outside of this that we've been refusing to do for some time, and then justifying it as, this is what's meant for me, this world that I'm living in or creating. Meanwhile, Spirit's saying, no, you could bring some of that with you, but not the part that is keeping you sort of tethered to the safety, like, yes, stability is good. But I feel like there's a path here for you that's opening up that will speak to you. But it would require you to put down one belief here that is the belief of, that's ingrained in some self-speak or some version of yourself that you're understanding has to be in control, be at the helm. Okay, and so the minute that version of you isn't there, things will fall apart. Things might destruct. Things might become so blurry and unknown, and structure is going to be so chaotic. And it's not true. And so your soul contract's talking about putting that version of you to bed, because it's not serving you. And I feel like that version of you might be very tied to an experience or a person for a lot of you guys of the past, your father, your mother, an old version of you. And it's like, once we break ties with that, it's like that person is gone forever. That version of me is gone forever. And so I hang on to that to keep that memory alive or that person alive. But it's limiting you and it's restricting you. And so Spirit's talking about you focusing on a new version of you that you haven't yet been able to develop or discover. And it's the version of you that might not be so structured or predictable, but it is a strength within you nonetheless. And it is a version of you that can drive a lot of change and power and really bring in things here that I feel like maybe you're not even aware of or certain that you can have. So I feel like there's an energy coming here of people around you potentially feeling limited by your sort of way of being here. And so it is limiting expansion in relationships or the types of people you can engage with or meet. It's like it's capping you in a place here that is fairly stagnant. Same people, same situations, same experiences. And I don't think it's producing anything new and exciting and potential wise, because I feel like there's a lot of potential for a lot of great things here. And we might be settling thinking that we need to settle, we need to stay in this world, but we don't. And so the soul contract you're being given here is to understand and break free from that in which has been ingrained for some time, preventing this development, if you will, and this new exploration of new people, new experiences, new relationships, and new intermingling to create different things. Because I do feel like you're supposed to create something different than the norm. But we're burning and turning with the old. We're burning and turning, maintaining some form of stagnancy here. And so I think if you were to turn, you would see this path clearly. And I think you might see this path, but you're choosing to look backwards or look everywhere but in that direction. And so we might feel like we're, like I said, letting down our family or having to cut a tie with something that we still charge as being very powerful or important part of who we are or what we need to do. And it's not. It's an old version. It's an old story. It's not, it doesn't actually dictate your power. It's not making you more powerful or more in control or more capable or more attractive or more anything. It's hindering you. It's not allowing you to be flexible. It's not allowing you to have an emotional new beginning, which is really something that touches your heart space. Because when we play it safe, when we're sort of in this 4 energy of structure and stability, it's like to gain our bearings, but it comes from a place of sort of lack. It's not expansive. It's not fulfilling. It's not deeply soul touching. It's watered down. It's sort of in the rat race and knowing of something better, but not experiencing it or thinking it's for us. And so I think there's a more natural way of you. And you might be so connected to this way of you that you think it's naturally you or just about you, and it's not. There's a natural way of you. And that natural version of you is capable of having success down this other path of something you haven't quite experienced. Okay, so let's see what this is about, okay? Because I do feel I'm maybe missing some stuff here. Spirit, for pile number 2, what is this soul contract talking about then for pile 2? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. What do they need to know about this soul contract? A deeper dive into this energy. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. I will be reading reversals. Okay, so let's take a look. What is Spirit's talking about here in this soul contract? Ego, 15, which is devil energy. It says, a false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. Capricorn, ego, I'm getting Leo as well. So what is this talking about? It's giving me a little bit more insight. We will lay all the cards in a bit shortly, but the false sense of entrapment is, and he's wearing a mask, the version of you that you think is you is actually not you. It's your false self. It's created by the ego, the persona that we create here to create order and structure. we're trapped by that version of us. Once we identify that that actually isn't us, we're now free to pursue guilt-free. Okay. So I feel like we are being trapped by, I do feel it's guilt. Here it says focused on material things. I feel like it's the 3D version of you that can create the thing in your world that you see. Okay, that's the material thing. It creates the structure, it creates the home, it creates the world that you're living in. But you're selling your soul in some way here, because I feel like it's at the expense of experiencing something spiritual, emotionally deep, soul filling, like I said. And really at the root of it, there is this fear, it's like fear of exploring that in which I don't know. Because I'll sort of be out of my element, or a belief that this is the thing that's successful. This is the thing that is working. Meanwhile, it's like, it's only working because you believe it to be working, but it's limited and capped. And so you're going to only experience that capped, stagnant, and think that it's successful. And if you want to stay there, you can. But what your soul contract here is talking about is you stepping outside of that, a little wild and free, a little more natural, not the false self that's really clinging to that order and structure of who you should have been and could have been in the past here. And the 2 of fire in reverse. You've come into your own new partnerships or contracts, continue to move forward in reverse. So the 2 wands is all about a choice. One choice, one wand is to remain, make the decision to choose what's easy and familiar. And the second wand is always to move forward and to progress and to put us outside of our comfort zone. It's interesting how this says you've come into your own. What did I say? We're outliving someone else's idea of who we needed to be. Okay, what people expected us to be or do, which isn't your true self. It's the masked self, the version of you that you're playing out. Okay, and then it says new partnerships or contracts. So what did I say? There's an experience here to be felt and lived. Relationships, partnerships, events, experiences. They're all blocked and they're removed from your experience because you're being asked to continue to move forward, not look back and not stay stagnant. The choice is always in front of you and it's up to you. But we're listening to the fears keeping us stuck. But it might not be dressed as fear. It's the ego dressed as this is the right thing, or this is the me that is choosing this valiant thing, But really, is it? Or is it just self-preservation here in some way? I feel like someone's talking you into staying there. I don't know if it's a little voice within you, the parental voice you hear. It's like you're being, I don't know, something's negotiating with you to keep you there. Okay, but the ego's very much standing out here for me. So it's the identity we've created. You're not your identity. We have to identify what that is, because we're attached to that identity, that version of us. It doesn't exist. And as long as we think we're that identity, we start to act like that identity, and we start to keep that alive. Okay, 5 of water. So yeah, at the expense of, this is really giving me, looking back on her deathbed of what I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I feel you're really missing out, if I got to be honest. And maybe you already know, some of you guys, it's like, I missed out on this opportunity, or I'm missing out. Like it says, things not turning out the way you've hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, crying over spilt milk. I think your stable world isn't doing it for you. No matter how much you talk yourself into it, it's just the zone we know. And then we look at what we could have had, should have had, would have had, and feel even worse. So Spirit is saying you don't have to look at it like it's out of reach. You can choose to move towards it, but you got to move forward. And you got to identify your attachment to the false self. Okay, we have the Emperor coming out twice. Aries energy. Number 4, organization and logic, structure and discipline and leadership. So do you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world of other people? Like only I can create order and structure here. I am the one who is responsible. I am, because that's a mask. And yes, we all have certain responsibilities, but we are not their responsibility. We cannot attach yourself to that identity so much so that it's impacting, because you are this present moment only. You're not your past. You're not your experiences. You're none of those things. And so if this present moment requires you to do something completely different, be someone completely different, why can we not? Because I'm not. I'm this person. No, you're not. You're none of those people. You're pure essence. You're being. You're in this present moment with no contamination. The only contamination we have is the ones that we're attached to. Okay. And so I feel like we're choosing some form and structure over soul and depth and emotional fulfillment. We might be giving up on our dream job of a lifetime, or a creative pursuit, something we really wanted to do as a child, a dream relationship or an experience, and telling ourselves, I cannot, I will not, or I have not, or I have all these other reasons why I can't. Okay. And it might give us a false sense of feeling more in control or in power, to be wanted or needed. But like I said, that's just a facade, because under that, there might be fears lingering that if I did move towards this, what? What if it doesn't work? Maybe I'm not good enough. I'd rather stay here and play it safe. Or I truly believe that I'm stuck here because I don't know anything different, but I'm not. No, you're not. Ace of water. Look at that. What did I say? Ace of cups at the expense of the ace of cups. Okay, it's in reverse. Ace of cups is all about having an emotional new beginning with something that talks to your heart. Now, if you guys are familiar with the tarot, the Rider-Waite Tarot has a hand coming from the cloud. Okay, it's the universe. And so it's an absolute blessing coming from another dimension. The universe, God, source comes with this blessing, offering it to you from the cloud. And so it is very precious. And we could either take it or we can not see it. Okay. And so I feel this is a missed opportunity that the universe is putting in front of you. A blessing from the universe to love, to engage in something that speaks to your heart, to fulfill you. But it would require you to be full of self-love and know that you're worthy of this. And so at the root of why we're in this egoic energy could certainly be a lack of self-worth. I got to prove myself still. I have to prove myself to be capable. This structure is required in order for me to feel like I'm doing something. And Spirit is saying, no, here is this beautiful opportunity that can speak to your heart that is being suppressed or ignored or not engaged upon. Okay. And it says falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition, a new home, psychic knowing, spiritual growth, enhanced intuition, a new home. Exactly. So the Emperor talks about having a home, having a world that we've created full of structure and order. And watery psychic energy is kind of more fluid. And we might be very outside of our element to engage in what we don't know. Spiritual realms, emotions. Water is very fluid here. And so this would be out of a fear, or this would be out of our self-speak that we're incapable of maybe navigating the waters of our feelings. Okay, because I feel like we're disconnected from our emotions somehow, or this heart space, and we're creating our own disconnect. Yeah. So what do we have? Queen of Earth. So this is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And it says, Thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach. Deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. And this is in reverse. We're dependent on the material world at the expense of being fulfilled emotionally and spiritually. Okay? So you have a belief right now that's creating a dependency that isn't allowing you to move forward. And if you believe it to be true, why you have to be in that world, why it's your structure, why it has to be that way, you're the one that's coming up with that, not spirit. And it's your mask and your false self. So your soul contract is talking about you identifying the mask, taking the mask off, not living in the what ifs, and really connecting to a part of your heart space and your soul and your spiritual growth in order to have forward movement, to choose this path, not to stay where you're disappointed and saying, but at least I have some form of control, or at least this part of my world is like it's paying my bill, or it's providing me with some material thing that I need at the expense of something here. Okay, it's not a do or die. It's not a choose this and everything else must be thrown to the wayside. So we have 16, life experience. Oh my gosh, did I not say life experience right here? Okay, this is the tower energies. It's Archangel Chamuel. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. Time to spread your wings. That's what this whole thing is about. So, beautiful angels. Long story short, we're preventing a tower in our world. Everything's going to fall apart. The things I depend on, the people who depend on me. This thing that I built, that is the only way. If it falls down, I don't know how to deal with that. So I'm preventing it, but it's at the expense of my true happiness, soul calling, spiritual growth, me spreading my wings to capacity here where I'm well balanced, all well rounded, equilibrium. Okay, I'm not solely in my mind, solely in the matrix, in the material world, but I know it's important. I know the 3D is important, but it's not the only realm that exists. There's the spiritual realm, and there's experiences here with people, places, and things that I'm forfeiting in order to upkeep some idea, some structure that isn't working right now. And I keep choosing, or I'm not deciding to move on or away from this thing. I'm attached, and I believe it to be true for me, for fill in the blank, the reasons why. A lot stemmed from a lack of self worth when it comes to knowing what we deserve, because we believe the story to be true of how we have to be worthy of it, or we have to do something to achieve it. It's like only when I achieve this, or I'm at that level, then I'm accepted, or it's acceptable. It's like, no, that's not true. You have a more natural self here that's dying for experience, that's dying for growth. Okay, you got to connect to it. I mean, you could do what you want, but connect to it. So walking through nature, meditation, understanding what is spiritually calling to you, what's making you feel sad, what's making you feel like missing out. Don't attach yourself to the identity of the version of you that you think is in control. Okay, the doer. Because the doer is the separate I. It's the I that we create that makes us feel like we're in control, and the universe is in control, not us. We have choice, but the universe will always put in front of us certain things, and it's our choice to choose which way we want to go. But again, the universe can totally wipe this out, and that's why we can have a massive sort of, like midlife crisis when things sort of completely wipe away. It's like our identity has been stripped from us, and then we're totally having to face a midlife crisis because we don't know who we are. But when we connect to our soul, when we connect to our heart, when we connect to our essence, it doesn't matter where you are in the 3D. It doesn't matter if you're on your deathbed. It's like it's fulfilled. It's been experienced. It's been understood. You're not dependent on an outside world being propped up for you. Okay? So I hope this made sense to you guys. Beautiful pile number 2. This is your reading. If you're called to another pile, I will see you there. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Gorgeous angels, pile number 3. You guys picked this major arcana card here. They might have been a little difficult to tell. This one happens to be the Justice. Okay, the scales of balance here. So Libra energy. We'll get into this energy shortly. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the soul contract that's playing out in your world right now. Okay, a journey of sorts, whether you believe in soul contracts or not. It's what are you going through? Okay, this could be spiritually, physically. What are the lessons being learned and played out here? What are you needing to know about it? Are you navigating through? Is there anything you should do or need to know about this? Okay, I haven't looked at these cards at all, and I asked Spirit exactly that. For pile 3, what is this soul contract that's being played out, and what do you need to know about it? So the best way to go through this reading, one, if it's your first time at tarot or this channel, then go check out my disclaimer, please, so that you're on the same page as me. Okay, but is to come up with something you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this is your messaging or not. Sometimes this is energy around you, people around you, circumstances, and I might call it your energy, but it's you're dealing with the situation in this energy. Okay, I'm just reading energy. You tie it to whoever you need to so that you understand. Okay, beautiful angels, let's take a look then what's going on with this, and then you guys can certainly sit through the card layout, or you can go straight away to your channeled message. So what am I getting from this card? I'm seeing an open scroll. Okay, and open scrolls to me is like the map or the plan, like something being revealed to us that we could see. It's not closed, so we're seeing some plan. Or do we feel we're being guided someplace? But I see there's nothing sort of written here. So maybe we're having to navigate with an understanding, but more of a like knowing rather than like seeing or understanding in the 3D is kind of what I'm getting here. Although, again, justice is what? About contracts, about balance. Okay, fairness, doing what's right, finding equilibrium. So we'll get more as we unfold this thing here, but maybe we're having to find our own balance, like regulation, parts of ourselves as we sort of navigate something we're trying to do here. But I do feel it might be in the blind in some way, and it's bringing maybe multiple aspects of ourselves, you know, maybe spiritually, emotionally, physically, and we're having to balance all of these parts of ourselves. Maybe it's our masculine and our feminine having to come into balance here. I'm seeing these rising birds that look like phoenixes, you know? So it's the rise of what? The rise of the masculine and the feminine, transmutation of the ego or the shadow self in order to be reborn in some way, in a balanced way. I'm getting very powerful energy here, and potentially this could be my more ascended group when it comes to, you know, doing shadow work or like spirituality or being reborn here in some higher level of consciousness. I'm seeing this pointy thing here, which is kind of giving me this sort of truth, you know, honesty and clarity. And I feel like what I'm getting as well is like the first sword is the most positive, and it gets kind of challenging with all the swords as we go down, ending with the 10 swords, which is like really painful. But the first sword is the most positive because it's clarity and truth, and it's starting, okay, from a position of truth. But I feel like maybe this has been a very challenging, hurtful, difficult journey for you, where it's having to identify what is true and speaking your truth and staying clear, like not letting fears or not letting illusions or things get you off balance. So always sort of tweaking yourself back to center. What is true? What is true? What is true? You know, not what do I want to see is true, but what is actually true. no matter how painful that I have to do or say or be or understand, it's like having to maintain some form of balance. Wow. Lots coming through with that. Let's take a look. What do we have? This might become clear as we unpack it all, okay? If it doesn't sound like it resonates right away, it might become clear as we go along. So don't take messages that aren't for you, okay, beautiful angel? Gateway, look at this tree with this doorway that seems closed, and we have this star right above it. Star can talk about our destiny, our vision for the future, Aquarius energy, and we see the moon being reflected. So moon could be fears and emotions. Moon could be like illusions, and we're not, maybe seeing things as they are potentially, or having to cut through fears, reflect on our emotions or our subconscious in order to create some form of stability with this tree to get us through to the other side. I feel like we're getting somewhere. It's quite the journey, you guys. Wow. Okay. We have the journeyer. Couldn't write it better myself. Yeah, the journeyer. Okay. And we have Venus, beloved. I was getting very strong Venus energy from this Libra energy. Okay, but Venus also a ruling planet for Taurus. But I am feeling a lot of Libra, But Venus, beloved, this is about love and relationships and romance. Creativity, fertility, spirit, joy, self-expression, which is the sword again. 21 or the number 3. 3 is about growth. It's also about relationships. We're in relationship with everyone and everything. Okay, 3 is also the initial success, laying the roots and the foundation in order to expand. Okay, 2 is about choices. 2 is about balance. 2 is about partnership, duality. And 1 is about new beginnings, potentials, opportunity. Okay, 1 is the beginning, so it could be the Fool even, which is unlimited potential. 1 is also magician, Virgo, Gemini, which is talking about as above, so below, manifestation in the 3D realm, but being highly connected and tapped into the divine, the ethers, other dimensions, Wow, this is very powerful, you guys. Look at the psychic strength, shield, talisman, and gold light. Here she's holding up a talisman. Very powerful psychic energy pulling through here. Psychic strength. I'm getting a mixture of Pisces and Leo energy coming through this card. Okay, and then we have surrender to inner peace. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis in quiet meditative moments. Focus on stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. And look at these doves. They're like the light's coming through, but they almost look like they're on fire, kind of like these phoenixes I was seeing on fire. We see two birds. Okay, these doves are talking about peace. Fire is transmutation of energy. How do we cultivate peace? We have to find balance. Okay. And we have union. Oh my goodness, you guys, the 2 again, the shadow and the light. But they're rhinoceros. Rhinoceros is a very heavy energy, very thick coat, very strong. Thick-skinned, We can't be thin-skinned, be knocked off balance. So it's solid, it's stable, it's sturdy, kind of like this tree. But it could create a lot of pain here with the horns, because like I said, the sword of truth can cut. It's double-sided. Union. Okay, union is a coming together. It could be 2 aspects of ourself, masculine, feminine, shadow and light. Okay, it could be partnership, harmony, balance, union. All right, and we have control, number 8. So 8 is giving me Leo again. 8 is about movement, change, and attainment. Strength, which is facing our fears, the courage to face. to know when to allow ourselves to sort of run wild with their animal instinct and know when to sort of be held back and controlled. Okay, because balance is all about control. 8 is also star, which we were getting from this. Aquarius, destined, future, vision, hope, healing. Okay, but control could be emperor energy. Control could be having restraint, like I said, with the strength card, you know, controlling our egos, controlling our animal instinct. Wow. Anticipation, number 3. So we had 3 coming up. 3 is a master number. 3 is about reproduction, creativity, humor, grace, consciousness, joy, and harmony. This is anticipation. Look at all these empty tables and chairs. For what? An event that's about to happen? Crow's about communication, transformation. And we have between worlds, the number 3 again. So we have 333. Okay, a life path 3 in the positive traits are popular, friendly. Negative traits could be cynical, critical, vain. So Leo energy pulling through with the 8s, and the strength could be that vanity pulling through. Between worlds, transitioning from the black and white into the color. Yeah, and this flamingo's head's high, being seen, being recognized. Okay, and we have divine masculine, 2-2, or the number 4. So 2-2 is also a master number. It's about divinely guided relationships. Again, are we being brought together with someone, or are we being divinely guided to come into union with our masculine or feminine energy? Masculine is all about the control and the mind. It's outward energy. Okay, because the masculine is about penetrating energy, outward control, thought, whereas the feminine is receptive, intaking. That's more of this moon energy we were feeling. So let's see, divine masculine. It says the frequency of divine masculine supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. So we were feeling magician from this one, which is bringing something into form. Okay, so 2-2 is 4. 4 is, like I said, emperor, Aries energy, structure, foundation, stability, planning. And we have detachment. With detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. Ironically, that's often when it is fulfilled. And look at, she's riding this crow. They look almost identical. One's facing east, one's facing west. I just heard north-south. North-south. So south is the past, north is the future. We have detachment here. And remember, the cause of all suffering is our attachment. It's not the desire itself, but our attachment to the desire, to the outcome. Here we have ghost. So something absent, something invisible, something that might have disappeared or doesn't reveal itself here. Ghost. Okay. And we have fire mother. Oh my goodness, we were getting the fire phoenixes here. Number 9. 9 is hermit energy. It's also moon. Okay, moon's receptive energy. Emotions, intuition, feelings. So we got Virgo, Cancer, Pisces, but I do want to read the fire mother here. I haven't read any of these just yet, but I'm feeling called to read this fire mother. Fire mother, number 9. It says, wow, that's a long one. Okay, it says, fire mother, the phoenix curls her many colors tenderly around her eggs. Having survived a fiery death, she is born again and again. Her ability to give Her ability to give her love and her colors never leaves her. In fact, her ability to live through death and rebirth allows her to appreciate. I'm getting very emotional all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. Where is this coming from, Spirit? Okay. Allows her to appreciate the things she loves ever more deeply. She is a symbol to us that from death will always come life. The Fire Mother has the wisdom of knowing nothing truly belongs to her and that everything is temporary. She loves and cares for her eggs as if there is no tomorrow. If you have experienced difficulties in the past, it can become a habit to always be looking for the next tragedy or hurdle that might be put in your way. And before you know it, you are spending all your time overcoming challenges. You also have the option to spend your time and energy giving affection and love to that which you feel dear, such as people, projects, or ideas. You will never cause ill from giving love. Wow, and we were talking about the past there. Fire Mother, powerful. Allow, beautiful. A lot of these trees came barren for pile 1, 2, and 3, no leaves. I've got a lot of purples and pinks, a lot of feminine energy, intuitive energy, psychic energy. Okay, I'm getting a lot of Libra from this. I'm also getting a lot of Pisces. Allow. And then we have this giant. So it looks like a giant's head. What's the story in the Bible with those giants? Not the Nepherites. What are they called? Those giants. Anyway, there's coming through with a giant. And look at this person. Is this David and Goliath? So we have a giant and we have a person slaying the giant. Okay, wow, you guys, this is intense. So you guys might want to click on the timestamp to get straight away to the channeling as I go through this, and we'll get into the tarot to clarify what we need. Beautiful pile number 3. Wow. All I got to say is wow. If you guys didn't sit through the card layout, this is wow. So this is either your energy around you, attribute it as you see fit, okay? We're looking at the soul contract here. And this is quite the journey. And it's very clear to me. Pile 3 is on a journey of coming into balance and harmony. Now, for a lot of you guys, because I know I do a lot of relationship readings, could certainly be on some form of twin flame journey, okay, with another. But as we know, and as we ascend and as we work through our journeys, it's all about finding inner balance. And that is the greater journey here. The masculine and the feminine from within getting balanced, getting harmonized, certain aspects of ourself. So if we were off kilter in one aspect, either a feminine or a masculine, our world started to be off kilter. Okay. And this journey, this soul contract is all about learning how to come into balance with their masculine, feminine by detaching, practicing the art of detaching from that in which we desire, and understanding that we only can make decisions and control certain things that are in our control, that the universe allows us to make decisions of, and everything else is up to the universe. We cannot attach to outcome. We cannot chase desire. We cannot force ourselves to be or have anything aside from just allowing things to be. And so I feel this is a very difficult lesson to learn, because this takes a lot of transmutation of the ego, releasing outcome, detaching from the needs to control or force our way. And so I feel like this journey is really blended with a lot of pain here, because I feel like in order for us to understand and fully see the true reality, We have to experience it. And it's not that the universe wants to put us through torturous, experiences just for the sake of it. But it's through the adversity, through the experience, do I fully understand and come to this understanding of how to truly surrender and detach and be reborn. I feel like there's a lot of transmutation of energy that was shadowy, that was attached to outcome, desires, and control. And yet still maintaining an energy of hope and love, and feeling almost like we've had to navigate on our own through realizing what is real and what is not. What are my emotions here that are helping me? And what are the emotions here that I need to understand and work with in a way here so that I can see clearly? So a lot from the subconscious is being reflected upon fears, emotions. And so we're healing a lot of this through seeing the truth, but not I think what we're seeing here is we're not attaching ourselves to versions of us. I think we can't connect to versions of us that are safe, that are destructive, that aren't allowing us to create some form of stability, that are getting in the way of our future. But I feel like we feel shut out. I feel like we want to plant something stable. I feel like we want to have security, stability. I feel like we might have even had an idea or an understanding of where we were going, only to be sort of thrown into a whirlwind here of the divine saying, you don't have any control. And to surrender this control to the universe takes a process to heal ourselves. Okay, so this is really reflected back to us, specifically when it comes to how we connect with other people in relationship and love. Particularly an intimate relationship with another. We are seeing the truth of who we are. We're seeing a reflection of ourselves. And I feel like at times we might have really needed protection from ourselves, protection from things that might have been very destructive and very painful. And the only way for us to sort of be able to neutralize this is to find some form of refuge and peace within us. And this only can come from heart and compassion, understanding and love. And so I feel like it's a real sort of push-pull here in order to get stabilized, neutral, and grounded in some way. And that the path that we were being pulled towards, I think a lot of us know that there is something destined, there is something here, but we can't see our way. We're just trusting blind, learning from the past, and pointing our nose towards the future, knowing it's leading somewhere, but where is it leading? Who's going to show up? What's going to happen? Is something even going to happen? Why does it feel so intense? We have no answers, just full of questions, and understanding that there is an anticipation of something. This must be something grand. This must be something being revealed to me. And as we go through this, I feel like a lot of us have had this psychic ability kicking in here because of having to rely on the intuition and the inner knowing. We've had to connect to the divine. And it might have defied all logic. It might have defied all of what we've known from the past, how to be. And so this energy of going from the past version, the matrix self, the 3D self, or the version of me that wasn't quite seeing all the different dimensions, is challenging. because we have one shoe in the old world and one shoe in the new world. And it's like navigating this has taken a lot of balance. Because I feel like we could quickly just fall upside down here, you know? And so divine masculine and control is showing up here. Because I do feel like a big part of this journey is all well-rounded, but knowing the parts where we're trying to force outcome or we're trying to do rather than allow, to trust in the divine, to be receptive to things as they unfold. And so there might be a lot of anxiety and anticipation. What will happen here? I must hang on. I must force my way. I must do this. But Spirit is saying it's learning to be at peace with what is, even the discomfort, and still trusting that what's supposed to sort of unfold here will unfold. And at the end of it, we slay something bigger than ourselves, something that might have seemed like it was too big to overcome. Because I feel like we feel where it's us against this big challenge, you know? It's overbearing and overwhelming at times. It's more powerful than us. It's like, how do I slay this giant? How do I do this? And Spirit keeps kicking it back to being clear with the truth and the honesty, speaking and walking and talking our authenticity, but not the ego version of what we desire or attach to. And remaining in that energy of trusting that whatever we're destined to encounter will unfold as it should unfold, without anger, bitterment, or being bitter, I should say, or like trying to control the way in which it unfolds. So this becomes about the journey rather than about the outcome and the destination. And I feel like maybe it started with some vision of an outcome, something we wanted to attain. And we were left empty-handed. And I feel we're still potentially empty-handed, feeling like we haven't got to the finished land, or we haven't seen what this was all for. And so the soul contract here is talking about, this is all about you transitioning from the old version of yourself into a new version that has gone through this process of this journey. And once you transmute all of those energies that were really attachments and egos, then you can walk through this door and see what's on the other side. But it's all about finding this inner balance and this inner masculine and feminine approach, and the intermingling of knowing how to engage with your shadow rather than react with that shadow. And when we master this sort of understanding and this flow, then we'll be graced with something here. Okay, then we've overcome the thing here. Let me see. Spirit, what is it that pile number 3 needs to know about this journey then? I just heard on and on and on and on and on and on and on it goes, you know? So what do we need to know here for beautiful pile number 3 about this journey? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. So we have ego, which is the devil card, and it is in reverse. Okay. And this came out, I think, for pile number 2. It says a false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thought. In reverse, Capricorn energy. So we're breaking from the devil, which means what? Transmuting the ego, shedding the ego self, the self that's attached to outcome, person, feeling separate. You know, that's what the ego does. So this fell in my lap, the Magician. Archangel Raziel. It says, you are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them. Life is magical. Virgo, Gemini in reverse. Let's lay them all out here and then we'll channel. So we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. It says emotions, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or a wedding proposal, the need to balance emotions. An invitation to a social event. It's in reverse. Clarified by the Ace of Fire, which is the Ace of Wands. An exciting new opportunity, career advancement, and change your life now. Okay, so why is this Ego card in reverse? So we have the King of Water. Trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice. Charity work. So that's the King of Cups. So we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And we have the Three of Swords. Great sadness. Take time to heal. The need to forgive yourself and others. And the Queen of Fire, which is the Queen of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. And bottom of the deck energy, we have the Two of Pentacles, Two of Earth. Too much going on at once. The need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. So 2 is about the balance with the Pentacles. So let me sit here with this energy so I can channel what this is telling you. Okay, beautiful angel. The Queen of Fire has a strong capacity here to get what she wants. I think you're used to getting what you want. Beautiful angel. Capable, smart, intelligent, graceful, confident, phenomenal. Okay? Now, when the universe throws a wrench in something that is preordained in some way here, like this soul contract, we're not understanding what's going on. And we have no control over the universe, okay? If we think we do, we have ego. And I think this is what's happening. We're full of ego, okay? Our whole world has propped us up in some way. And it's not saying you're not deserving of being loving and or loved and, you know, deserve all the accolades and all of the beautiful things, because I'm sure you worked very hard for all these things. But this is a materialistic understanding. This is an ego. This is an attachment to a self that I've created. We are none of those things. We are just in the present moment being itself. We have to detach from the ego. Why do we have to? Because when we're called upon by a soul contract, by a divine journey of sorts, whether we're ready or not, we're on the journey. We've been called. You've been triggered by an awakening. This could be a relationship. And for a lot of you guys, I do feel it is a relationship. Maybe somebody has been very emotionally unavailable. But whatever the case may be, it's out of our hands. We cannot manifest no matter what we want, no matter how powerful and intelligent we are. So we start to try to figure out how to be in charge and in power and manipulate energies. Not good. Ego, ego, and more ego. What are we needing to do? Focus on our own emotions, getting balanced. It's all about balancing our own emotions, emotional mastery, not going after our desires and our passions and our attachments here. Okay, so there is an opportunity in front of you, and it's not going to present itself until you learn through the journey what you're supposed to learn with this soul contract, which is about balancing your own emotions, your own subconscious here, your own need to attain for outcome. And so the ride is bumpy until we balance it out, because we're up and we're down and we're at the mercy of our situation, other people. If they ghost us, if they're emotionally unavailable, if they're disjointed from their emotions, it doesn't matter what other people are doing so much, but it is impacting us. It's rocking our foundation. We're experiencing joy, highs and lows, and we're incapable to get our footing, to get grounded, to get stable, to get balanced, because our emotions are pulled here, there, and to and fro. And it's like, how could this beautiful Queen of Wands be so out of control? And she's out of control because she's let her mask and her ego. Okay, the Queen of Wands wears a mask. It's symbolic of the ego mask we wear, you know, the facade we put on. And until she takes that off and transmutes this ego of self, this understanding she has of self, no matter how confident, no matter how much it's protected her and navigated her to have success, it's all materialistic and it's all matrixy. So she is being asked, in order to manifest something, she has to understand her emotions and get regulated and balanced and find inner peace. Satori. Okay, that's all about inner peace. Transmutes the shadow self, the self that wants to attain, manipulate energy, get what she wants, attached to outcome and desire, has this animal instinct, impulsive nature, thinks she could control and force her way to, I don't know, make certain outcome because that's what she's used to. And so the only way spirit knows how to guide this journey, unfortunately, is through suffering. But suffering is a choice. It's not that the universe puts suffering upon us. The universe creates situations. It's the school of life. And sometimes situations are painful. But we can choose to suffer, or we could choose to see the pain and grow from it. And so I feel like this is all about our suffering. We create separation, being separate from the ones we love, feeling alone, feeling like someone isn't in my world or giving me what I need or deserve. And so I feel separate from that person. I feel heartbreak. I feel alone. This is all an illusion. You're not separate from anyone. You're whole and complete. You're balanced, but you need to connect to that. You are the same guiding light that's in everybody else. And so this does, to me, feel a lot like a twin flame journey of sorts, where we feel like we're disconnected from our beloved. We feel sad. We feel heartbroken. We feel detached and alone. And we feel up and down and at the mercy of whether this person's coming or going, or whether the universe is providing or not providing. And we keep on that seesaw until we get totally tired of this separation and this pain. And we start to question. We start to question, where am I supposed to be looking? What am I supposed to be shedding? What is holding me to this state? Because we have a lot of fears. What's the fear? Fear of being alone, fear of letting go, anxious attachments, okay, negative thoughts, fearing the worst, coming up with stories instead of just allowing, surrendering, being in discomfort if we have to, in order to understand about ourselves, sit with ourselves, instead of trying to force outcome or change situations or circumstances to fit our needs. Because the divine knows what's going to fit your need, but we're having to go through this lesson. And this lesson is all about transmuting the fears, detaching from egos and devils, understanding our own manipulative ways, and understanding what sort of power we actually have when it comes to manifesting. Because we can't manifest pure sort of divine, heartfelt fulfillment when we're full of ego. We just manifest things in the material world that are superficial and empty and transactional. And Spirit's saying, no, this soul contract is all about understanding from a non-egoic place how to magnetize towards you and manifest love from a place of oneness and union. And so there's a need to come into union, balance, and healing when we're not wanting to suffer anymore, when we're wanting to see through the illusion of separation. And unfortunately, it is after we've gone through a lot of pain, a lot of separation, but I feel like our emotions are all over the place. And we feel at the mercy of our material world. And that's not true. So we have to investigate why. The King of Fire, look at that, right underneath the Two of Pentacles. So we have the King and the Queen of Fire, divine counterparts, made for each other, very fiery. So this could be two aspects of yourself. Again, the masculine and the feminine coming into balance, into union, in order for there to be, an ideal partnership, relationship, a coming together in the physical world. But you, beautiful pile number 3, are coming into balance and union with self. The fiery masculine aspect and the Queen of Fire, which is interesting because fire, again, like I said, is a transmutation of ego, which happens to be this devil card. And until we break the chains of the devil Until we understand the devil, the egoic ways, we forever get sort of ping pong back and forth here. A need for the balance. Okay, so this queen says, stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Okay, because she might be giving more of herself. She might have to prove her value or think that she does. And it's like, no, this Queen of Wands doesn't need to prove shit. Okay, but she needs to shed her ego. She needs to understand her mask. And this King of Fire says motivational, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision. Be a leader. Advice from someone creative. So because I do feel I'm reading for divine feminine here, although very hard to tell because we have both the masculine and the feminine here. But she did come out first. Is learning how to tap in to the masculine when she needs the masculine, because she might have thought she had some form of control here that was coming from ego. It was coming from attachment to desire. It was coming from an illusion of separation, that there's a world out there that's separate from me that I must attach to, and when I feel separate from it, I feel sad, bad, and abandoned. That's all an illusion. That's all not true. And so with this King of Fire, this is knowing the strategy. This is knowing the plan. This is knowing how to be regulated, because the King of Fire doesn't just spontaneously sort of act in certain ways from, these impulsive energies. He's very planned. Okay. But also at the same time, this King of Wands can't let his ego get the best of him. That winning at all costs. So if we have a winning at all costs energy or attitude, then what? We're not doing this Fire Mother that I read in the book, which is about compassion. It's about transmuting the ego and being able to detach from outcome so that we can be more compassionate and not stay in this sort of suffering when we don't get what it is we think we're needing or that we're trying to manifest. And ironically, this is when it manifests. Let's read this again. Detachment. With detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. Ironically, that's often when it's fulfilled. So you're on a journey fulfilling this, okay? But let spirit sort of unwind this thing as it will, without the needs to manipulate and control. And sort of be the observer here. Watch it unfold. Don't get too attached. Don't get too involved. Okay, with this anticipation, I feel you feel something coming and you know that it's coming. So trust the divine. Allow it to be as it is. Because we try to cover up our discomfort by doing other things. I'll get in another relationship. I'll do the same thing over here, over there, over there. No, that's a reverse magician. No. Okay? So, beautiful angels, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. And if you're drawn to another pile, I will see you there. All right, bye-bye. Welcome to the disclaimer. Don't get fooled by people scamming you in the comments section. If you're interested in a private reading, all my contact information is in the description box. And there you will find my website. And that is only through my website can you book private readings at this time. And for those of you guys new to the tarot, tarot does not predict your future. Tarot is not set in stone. Tarot is reflecting back to you a state of consciousness that is something you can either resonate with or not. And so it's very important that you are in tune with your intuition so that you know whether the pile you're picking, the information coming through, is reflecting back to you your own intuition, state of consciousness, your subconscious, and this will be the best way for you to know that the message is indeed meant for you. So if your intuition is not clear or it's cloudy, then you might be tapping into the wrong pile, or information might be coming through that is not dictating whatever your circumstance situation is. So it is important that you work with the divine to develop your intuition. Best way is to sit through the card layout, which I do include with most of my readings, where you can ask the divine to come up with what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether The pile makes sense for you. And so you can ask the divine to show you those signs, symbols, synchronicities, either throughout your dreams or throughout your day, and certainly throughout the reading, so that you can be assured that the messages you're tapping into are the right messages for you. If you are drawn to multiple piles with the pick a card readings, listen to your intuition. A lot of times energy is interconnected, and in this channel, a lot of times all my piles could be interconnected. So do not feel obligated to only select one or all or none. It is definitely up to you and your intuition. If you are in a pile and it is not resonating, there is no need to continue listening to that pile. If it doesn't resonate, sometimes it gives us perspective so that we know what is resonating for us. So even piles that do not resonate could provide some insight. Keep in mind that if you have strong energy in your presence, other people, situations, that could be quite heavy energetically or strong energetically, spiritually heavy, those might pull through the pile. So it might not be your energy that I'm picking up, but your situation, your circumstance, or people that you're dealing with. It's up to you to keep an open mind in regards to what it is that I'm connecting to, if it is resonating to your story. Do not take any messages that don't belong to you. There will be specific messages that come through for certain individuals, even though the pile might be your pile, but the specific message does not connect to you. Do not take those messages. Only take the ones that resonate for you. It should be the overall energy in that pile that is resonating to your story. It is the gist of that energy that should be overall the story or the energy of the situation, circumstance, or the person that I'm tapping into. If you are unprepared to listen to difficult messages, messages that offer healing, messages that might provide someone else's perspective that we're not quite ready to listen to, it might be a good time to come back when we're fully healed or prepared to listen to messages. My commitment to you is to read the cards with transparency and as much compassion as I can. It is difficult for me to provide you with any guidance in the comments section without knowing your specific situation. A lot of times the piles do come reversed and they might not match the exact description of the reading. And although I am posting the description of that reading, my intention is to always deliver that in which the description talks about. But sometimes spirit comes through with the mere reflection of either something objectively pulling through, some guidance pulling through, or something completely unrelated. And that is not up to me, and I certainly don't select what comes through. But Spirit knows when you will click on whichever video in order for you to hear the messages that are being pulled through. It might just be for one person, and that one person was needing to hear it. So if you are frustrated with that, it's early to tell in a reading whether it is resonating or not, especially if we've sat through the card layout. Again, do not feel obligated to take any messages that aren't for you. You can certainly switch your own situation, circumstance, or energy based on the reading you get. So if a reading does resonate, but you want a different outcome, then utilize the reading in order for you to make conscious choices, different decisions, guide the energy in a specific way that you want it to go. This is why we utilize the tarot and the oracle cards in order for us to be conscious of the energy and make shifts. Energy shifts very fast, and it is formless, and it is not time-bound, meaning I could be tapping into present, future, or past situations. If an energy feels like it's an old energy, it's past, you might want to go check out another pile. There could be one that's talking to your current situation, or we could be looking at a future state of consciousness. These readings might not make any sense to you at the time because it is beyond your level of comprehension. You might want to come back to these readings at a later date. That's why all these readings are timeless unless otherwise stated. And so, as I mentioned, it is up to you, depending on when you click on the reading, to know whether it is useful information to help guide you. All of my readings offer a level of healing, whether it is understanding someone else's perspective, if it is understanding our own perspective, tapping into subconscious energies, or looking at objective situations from the point of view of the creator. All information helps us to put the pieces of the puzzle together so that we can make better decisions when we're involved with difficult or challenging people or circumstances. This is the reason I do the tarot. I do not do the tarot so that we can dwell in hurts and in pain. So if we're suffering, we're allowed to feel how we feel. Pain is inevitable. We all suffer from pain, but the suffering is certainly up to us. And my mission is that we release suffering. Undue suffering does not need to persist. If we choose to suffer, it is because we're making a decision to stay in the suffering. The choice is always ours to get out of suffering. And so sometimes we don't like to hear what it is that's being communicated because it might release us or relieve us from stories, from comfort zones, from pains and clutches that we've used in the past in order for us to feel safe, in order for us to remain in our comfort zone. And as I mentioned, healing isn't always easy. So it is sometimes very difficult for us to acknowledge truths because sometimes a comforting lie is what we choose to believe in. I do not feed comforting lies. I will not read information or readings here that provide you a level of comfort and water the truth down. I don't want you to leave here feeling a false sense of security, but I do want you to leave with a sense that I justified your own intuition, your own energy and suspicion, or whatever you were wanting to confirm with the divine. I also want to make mention that I am not everybody's reader. So at times my voice is annoying, even to myself. And sometimes I deliver messages that aren't quite as concise as they can be. Spirit knows which words I will use in order to channel the information that my soul tribe, the people being drawn to the reading, need to hear. So those words are crafted by the design. I don't spend a whole bunch of time trying to analyze. I do know when it feels right, and I do know that sometimes it's a struggle to come up with a word that can define energy. Energy is not words. Energy can't fit into words. And so sometimes these readings could be a lot of repeating the same thing as I'm trying to find the right word. And if you've tried channeling, you'll notice that a lot of people who channel, they do repeat a lot of words until the right word comes through. Sometimes readings, unfortunately, don't make sense until the very end. And we might go down one path only to find that the answer was something else, or that the reading was something else completely. I don't intend this. Some days my channeling is very strong, and other days it is difficult for me to follow. And sometimes if it is difficult for me to follow, it can make complete sense on your end, but the delivery on my end might sound a little chaotic or confused because I don't understand everyone's situation and circumstance. Keep in mind, these are general readings, and these readings touch a lot of people, a lot of viewers. If you don't connect with my style, if you don't connect with the readings, then I do suggest you go find another reader. There's many on YouTube. And it could just be the reading or the pile wasn't your fit. So you might want to try another reading from my playlist. And I do hope you guys stay. And I do hope to connect with you guys. I do read all your comments. I do try to reach out to you guys, all of you guys. And if I don't, rest assured, I do see your comments. And I send so much love to you guys. I appreciate you guys very much. And I'm so honored to do this journey with you guys. Bless you and God bless.